Joining us now to review some of the headlines of today's newspapers from around the world is Aris news analyst and great Malabite, Emmanuel Efeni. Good morning.
Good morning, Ruben. Good morning, Rufai. Good morning, Ayo.
Good morning, sir.
Yes, we'll start the review straight away with this day, Nigeria's newspaper of record. The lead story, Buhari inaugurates 748 new homes, says it's fulfilled promise. OK's partial exclusion of Finance Ministry from Treasury single account gives Ministry of Finance Incorporated go-ahead to charge management transaction fees. Insists current upgrading of Nigerian military will make it force of global reckoning. Here's the president yesterday inaugurating 748 new homes, saying he's fulfilled his promise. Well, the president made many promises before he was elected in 2015. Has he fulfilled all the promises? Well, the president will say he has done so, but not many Nigerians will agree with him because the change mantra that brought him to power, when many Nigerians look back now, they ask what manner of change? Change for good or change for the worse? But talking about 748 new homes, looks like a drop in the ocean when you talk about the housing deficit of about 28 million in Nigeria. But again, this brings to mind that not very long ago, when NPN, National Party of Nigeria, and the then Unity Party of Nigeria were competing with a number of houses, homes they built for Nigerians to occupy. In Lagos, of course, till date, in almost every nook and cranny, whether it is in Lekki or Abidjan or, of course, Abeson, there is a landmark called Jakonde Estate. Yes, and it's still there as a reminder that it is possible to build homes for the poor, because in Jakonde's Lagos, there was a medium scale housing estate in places like Ogbaijaye, in Surulere, and of course, there was low-cost housing. And the federal government then of Shehu Shagari built estates in every state of the federation. And many of those estates are still being occupied till date. But 748 new homes in Abuja, and somebody is fulfilled. Well, perhaps the next government will take things to better level. Now, also on the front page of this day, the story there, how Tinubus' son bought $11 million London mansion targeted by EFCC. Lawyers say no legal jeopardy. But the Guardian newspaper also reporting this story. The Guardian is reporting Tinubus' $10.8 million London mansion, buying property under investigation, risky. Lawyers say, of course, that property was where Bola Ahmed Tinubu, the president-elect, was staying when he went for treatment in the UK, where the president, Muhammadu Buhari, visited him. Now, still in this day, well, if we just go into this day, the transition news, well, a new column add-on to this day, Nigeria's newspaper of record. Of course, if we just put up that there, it's there right there, the director. No, the next page, transition news, a page from this day newspaper. Wike moves to snatch victory from jaws of PDP's defeat. Flaunting, identifying with ex-Lagos governor despite contributing nothing. Only Makinde among G5 has say in president-elect emergence. Of course, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, the president-elect, will be visiting Rivers today. And Nyesom Wike has rolled out the red carpets for another commissioning, but that is not even the story. The story is that he has declared public holiday, asked traders to close shop because the president-elect is visiting. Well, this seems like a riposte to Dino Melaye, who said, Nyesom Wike is an expired drug that will soon be pulled off the shelf. But with what he's laying down, it's like, check me out, post-May 29, I will still be relevant. But again, left to be seen how Bola Ahmed Tinubu will be carried away by this show of love. Latter-day show of love remains to be seen. Now, of course, the Guardian newspaper, we'll go back to the Guardian newspaper. Senate presidency negotiations, intense lobbying among contenders as National Working Committee meets. That's the National Working Committee of APC. Of course, they see the contenders, the gladiators there. Akpabi, Oshomole, Kalu, Umahi, Lawan, Ndume, Barua, Musa, and Izunaso. Yes, these are people who are in the front, senators who are angling for the top job in the Senate. The position of the Senate president, the primus inter pares, first among equals in the Senate. Now, the Daily Trust newspaper also reporting that story. Senate presidency, Akpabio, Yari scramble for PDP senators. Opposition re-elect meets. Strategize to produce speaker. APC National Working Committee meets today. I've always said that the opposition party will have to weigh in one way or the other, because amongst the contenders who are of APC ilk, mainly, well, if the opposition party decide to throw their weight behind one of those, their preferred choice, then it may just be that the APC may not produce the president of the Senate they desire. Now, the Nigerian Tribune newspaper, Adamawa Rek in police custody. Other fingered officials under interrogation. Yes, Udu Ari, the Rek who announced that fake result in Adamawa governorship poll, is now in police custody. Now, the Vanguard newspaper also reporting the story. No regrets declaring Benani winner, says Adamawa Rek. Police arrest, grill him in Abuja. Investigations continue. Others fingered officials under interrogation. I didn't collect 2 billion naira bribe. Yunusa Ari says bribe allegation, social media hype. Well, the Nation newspaper also reporting that story. Adamawa police quiz detain Rek INEC commissioners. Yunusa Ari gives self up at police headquarters. Says, I have no regrets. Now, the Punch newspaper, Tinubus victory. Legal battle begins Monday as tribunal hears petitions. APC expresses readiness, says it is aware of hearing date. PDP Atiku will emerge victorious. Legal team tells Nigerians. Now, of course, the Business Day newspaper, cash startups hunt revenues to woo investors. Now, the foreign newspapers quickly, The Guardian of UK, new anti-protest power rushed into law in time for coronation. Yes, intimidatory Home Office letters sent to anti-monarchists, those planning to protest on Coronation Day had better be won, because a new law has been rushed into, and it has been signed by King Charles III himself. And the Home Office police power units wrote to campaign groups, the Republic, saying new powers had been brought forward. Protesters who block roads, airport, and railway can face up to 12 months behind bars. Of course, the New York Times reporting, after rebound, factories in U.S. fall into slump. Concern for the economy, hiring by manufacturers slows, but production may soon pick up. Ruben, Rufai, and Ayo.
I mean, I'd like to come up on the Ari case. Yes, a lot of people have said finally he's been arrested. Why did it take this long? But also we should be careful so that it doesn't look as though we don't want to do what is right and allow justice
He
to
gave
prevail.
himself up at the police headquarters.
And he gave himself off. The truth is, in Section 145, INEC actually has prosecutorial powers. And those prosecutorial powers of INEC had been shown in hitherto cases. I think the locus classicus on this is Professor Peter Ogban's case. We all remember how Mikey Guinea took up that case with INEC and prosecuted without police reports. So these compiling police reports should not stop INEC from going ahead to prosecute Ari by himself. In fact, out of the over 14 cases that there was a need for police, that some people got police reports, 12 of them that they got police reports did not proceed. It was only 2 of them. You remember the case of Professor Ogban and Professor Ignatius. These are 2 cases that should lead the way. And there's also a Supreme Court judgment. I think there was a case involving Ganifa Emi in all of this. So let's not stall this case with gathering police evidence as such. The evidence are crystal clear. Somebody asked me this morning on social media that where's the evidence? I said, what kind of question is that? We all saw on live TV and there are video recordings when Ari was announcing that unscrupulous results. That's enough evidence to be able to take this and prosecute it. Until date, NBC too has not said anything about NTA that carried an illegal acceptance speech by Binani. Let's call NBC out. We can't run media this way in this country. But others, you are so quick to slander with 5 million naira fine.
All right.
Well, Section 120 sub 3 of the Electoral Act 2022 prescribes punishment for any electoral officer that tries to sabotage the process. What Hudu Yunusa Ari did also amounts to a felony under the Criminal Code and an attempt to cause a breach of public peace. He's now saying that he has no apologies for what he has done. It remains for the Nigerian authorities, having been so empowered by the president of Nigeria himself, the constituted authority, if you like that phrase, of Nigeria, to say that he should be probed and he should be, sanctioned in case he has done anything. I think an example should be set out of him. So it's not even, something we have to quibble about. They might even escaped the authorities for more than 15 days. Who were those persons who aided and abetted him? Those persons too should be identified and also sanctioned. He should have his day in court. The law must take its course so that other persons who may be so criminally minded in the future to sabotage the electoral process would get good notice. But beyond all of that, there are many other issues that we have to worry about. One of it, which I refused to bring up yesterday, which has shown up in the papers again today, is the Food and Drug Administration Commission, NAFDAC, telling us that Indomie now is a prohibited item. The same Indomie that all of us have been consuming. We are now just being told that Indomie can cause cancer and that NAFDAC is investigating all of this because Taiwan and Malaysia have said Indomie is not accepted. That matter, we have to bring it up again because many of us have over-consumed Indomie. Thank you very much, Emmanuel.